9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
This is Dallas Cowboys Crosstalk.
Check this out.
Live from the Cowboys Club at the Star in Frisco. Brought to you by A#1 Air, the official HVAC and electric partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today. The National Medal of Honor Museum. Join the mission at mohmuseum.org. Buffalo Wild Wings. And by SWBC Mortgage. Customized solutions to help you meet your personal and business goals. Visit SWBC.com.
Live from the Cowboys Club at the Star, it is Cowboys Crosstalk. I'm Chris Arnold from 105.3 The Fan, along with the three-time Super Bowl champion, Nate Newton.
What's
and
up?
our special guest this Wednesday evening. We got former Cowboys linebacker great and assistant coach great. And proud owner of a Chick-fil-A franchise in Fort Worth. Dat Nguyen's in the house.
Dat Nguyen, baby. Yes, sir.
As well as my buddy Eric Chiafalo from 105.3 The Fan and the G-Bag Nation. For the guys who just got off there, G-Bag Nation, Chiafalo made it.
Hey, Chi, he spelled your name wrong. I had to go back and I was getting ready to tweet this thing
Oh, yeah,
out.
social
I
media.
said, this how you Sherelle?
You threw an R in there.
Spell check.
Yeah.
No, the autocorrect got it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Tell everybody how you spell your last name.
CHIOFALO.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
and I don't know if I spelled it right, but I did better than
Hey,
Sherelle.
Nate Newton can spell my name however he wants.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. We are so glad all of y'all are joining us because the Cowboys are fresh off another. This is the 15th straight home victory, this time over the Philadelphia Eagles, who had won 10 games. And now all the haters out there said the Cowboys never beat nobody. You can now say they have beaten someone. I want first thought impressions. Dat Nguyen, what are your impressions of the Cowboys' big win over the Philadelphia Eagles?
I thought it was just a dominant game, and the game was just started from the get-go. Even though we get them down first drive, went down and scored the game, set the tone, and then obviously go down and force that fumble. I thought it was huge, two-possession in the game, and from then on, just when you started making plays, you took the confidence, you took everything out of them, and that was a dominant game. This might be the best game I've seen them play in the last couple of years.
Look out. It was a very dominant performance. Cowboys won by 20 points, and they became the first team in NFL history to score at least 30 points in each of their first home games. That's how dominant it was. Nate, your impressions over that Cowboys' big win over Philadelphia?
Y'all cover your ears. How about them boys? That's all I got to say, baby. That's all I got to say. Gee, what you thinking, Chiafalo?
Hey, I loved it, man. I loved it. The defense, I was a little bit concerned after that Seattle game, but they came out, they played hard, and Dan Quinn had a great plan, blitzing on those 3rd and 4th down. Jalen Hurts didn't know what to do in those situations. And then, of course, they were opportunistic, as they always are under Dan Quinn. The offense, you meant setting the tone. That first drive, and you saw all the elements of what Mike McCarthy is introducing to this offense, throwing on early downs, all the motion, play action pass, and then you mix in a little Turpin with that speed. CeeDee Lamb, as Dak does the little, playing off script a little bit. Lamb's open, touchdown. Let's party.
Just like that. You know what? I saw this on social media. I had to fall out laughing because it's a true fact. Somebody put on social media, do you realize the Cowboys have not lost a game since Jimmy Johnson got announced to go into Jerry Jones, he's going into the Ring of Honor. Since he announced it, they have not lost a game. So it's like, the curse is lifted. Cowboys fans are happy everywhere. Chiafalo was talking about how the Cowboys looked offensively, distributing the ball, the balance, the complementary football, as Mike McCarthy puts it. I want to know, guys, because you guys play football, and Eric played some football in high school.
Soccer.
That
doesn't count. That doesn't count.
What did y'all think when you saw Mike McCarthy fresh off of got his appendix taken out, standing there on the sidelines calling plays?
Well, I thought it was fantastic that he's out there, and he wanted to be out there. And I think the team is in such a good rhythm. You have won so many games. You've been doing so well. And what are the haters going to say? Hey, you win games. You're supposed to win the games you're supposed to win.
Yeah.
So it's not your fault that they put the schedule on the piece of paper, and you got to play those teams. So for him to be out there, I think it's really a motivation for the players. They're saying, hey, even a coach just had surgery 48 hours ago. He's out here.
Yeah.
Shoot, if I had surgery 40 hours, would I be out here? So
Right.
that really gives them how this team is thinking as a group, and it was a great decision by the coach to be there.
What were you thinking, Nate, when you saw him on the sideline?
You know, it's a lot of emotions for me. You know, I'm old school, hardcore. I mean, I've seen dudes play with the pinkies cut off, with bad knees and his knees wrapped up.
You talking about Ronnie Lott?
I'm just saying, this was Coach's chance to show, fellas, what I asked of you, I'm gonna give. And when he did that, I'm like, yo, that's something Jimmy would have pulled back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So I loved it, and I think Dak needed that. To be with his coach in this kind of mix to see how things go.
Yeah, Coach McCarthy proved that he is built Ford tough. And Toradol's a hell of a drug.
Jerry loves that one.
I mean, yeah, thank you.
Jerry loves that plug.
Let me know when you need a new truck. All right?
You got it, baby.
Yeah, McCarthy looked great out on the sideline. I thought he called a great game. Anybody that was concerned, in my mind, that was concerned about, the transition from Kellen Moore, and also don't forget that Dak also had the quarterbacks coach. That both of them moved on. And you have Mike McCarthy calling these plays for Dak. So Dak didn't have his comfort level for the last few years. It seems like everything is going well. And I also noticed they started running the ball more in this game to start the game off. I noticed, you get the chunk plays. But did y'all notice what I noticed? It seemed like let's just punish these Eagles since they've had a tough schedule and even had to go into overtime the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, the thing that was so amazing about that is they didn't run straight. Like, first game, we ran straight at these guys. Don't go into their strength. He was like right outside the guards, right outside the tackles. Then they hit him with that reverse with Turpin.
Yeah.
Boy, that made a difference there, man.
Yeah, you always know when you play the game of football, and late in the season, it's a copycat league, right? It's got exposed a week before by San Fran, and guess what? Now we did the exact same thing, just run the ball. Let them stop you first before you do anything else. So, but running the ball is a key. I don't care what level you play.
Right.
Yeah.
You've got to run the football, and I think that gives a lot of confidence for the Cowboys. You've got to run the football to win the games, especially in December and January. If you want to make them the ultimate goal, you got to run the ball.
Oh, I got to ask you a defensive question real quick about the
Yeah.
game, because you're not only a former great Cowboys linebacker, Dat Nguyen, but you were also an assistant coach on the defense. It seemed like Marquise Bell, who's having a hell of a year, it seemed like, as a linebacker, he was spying Jalen Hurts. And it seemed like those kind of things were working. With the Cowboys defense playing the way you would have done it?
Well, I think Dan Quinn has done a fantastic job. So injury-wise, you look at the season, when you begin the season, I always talk about the levels of players. If you have a dominant level play at all three levels, you're going to have a good team, right? You got Diggs, you got Parson, and you got Lawrence, Tanner.
Yeah.
So we do have a great all three level, but guess what? Parson is more of a defensive end than linebackers, if you guys all agree. But it goes back to me when I look at Dan Quinn and the defense this past year. It reminds me of the Belichick when he made New England change to a three, kind of a three wide receiver, 11 personnel, one tight end running back offense, where other team had just from really the collegiate level. So this guy's integrating this up. If you watch the Cowboys, they're freaking, I don't know how many percent. I bet you it's a high percentage of cover one, and they're bringing 5, they're bringing 6, and guess what? Bell, Kurtz are modified linebackers.
Yeah, they are.
That's
big
really, they
boys.
can cover, they can run, and they can fit enough where, hey, there's enough disruption on the front line that the linebackers got to fit where you need it to make the play. And I think that's what's a phenomenal job. Just me watching, you don't have a number one linebacker, but you have multiple guys that are athletic enough and skilled enough that, hey, we can still make plays, and they're physical enough as well.
Hey, you know, Chris, I want to say this right quick. Like, I hope that the Jonathan Hankins injury.
That's where I was going to go with this. That's where I was going with this.
I'm praying that this dude is an integral part of what we do.
That one technique.
Yeah.
That big boy in the middle, that run stuff with the big butt. They toss these running backs around.
I don't know if he got a big gut, big butt. But,
Both.
But it's big. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I remember I used to get thrown. When I saw him on the ground, I was like, ooh, wee, that's what I used to look like.
Hey, by the way, linebackers love those big butts out there. So they can run.
Yeah, man. So he's got this high ankle sprain. He might be out for a while, which means Mozzie Smith, the number one pick, he's been working his way into it. Now, I've learned from just last year alone with the wide receiver, Jalen
Tolbert.
Jalen Tolbert.
Yes.
I was like, this guy right here. And all of a sudden he shows up. It took him a while.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not totally dismissing Mozzie, but Mozzie's going to have to step it up now, right?
Well, and I, Broadus and all the guys that we rap, we talk, we listen to one another. This kid got to almost study snap counts.
Yeah.
Somehow, somewhere, he's got to get a jump.
Yeah.
And I try to tell everybody during training camp, I say, fellas, it ain't going to work. Because give me a strong guy, and that's all he is. He don't get off the ball on time. He's not reading ahead of him. You know, I can give him some okey-doke and mess him all up, and he's finally learning. If he play 8 plays, he'll have 4 where he gets off the ball and does what he's supposed to do, and he makes an impact. But he'll have those 4 plays.
That's what Broadus was saying.
Where, Brian, this looks bad.
Yeah.
And you know, you're like, wow, kid, remember the good plays and eliminate these bad plays, and he can easily be a starter on the first 2 downs. Easily. If he would just even if he got to almost jump offside, we don't want him to do that.
Right.
Because the games are getting tighter and tighter. But you got to start studying snap counts. You got to give something that's going to give you an edge.
Yeah.
He's got to do his own version of what the Eagles do with their tackles, getting
Right.
off a tick early, it
Yeah,
feels like.
yeah.
He's got to find a way to do that defensively.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
Revolutionize the thing, Mozzie.
I'm going to bring this up to you before we go into this break. We got a couple of minutes here.
Okay.
How old are you, Eric Chiafalo?
29, I'll be 30 next month.
Okay, he's 29 years old. I don't know if y'all heard this story about what happened to the game on Sunday night, Sunday night when the Cowboys played. How come A.J. Brown told Stefon Gilmore, you an old man?
Poke the bear.
He poked the bear. And Stefon wore him out. Probably was the MVP for the defense because he was making plays, punching the ball out. He was traveling with A.J. Brown. You don't? I'm just saying this to you because you're the youngest one on this panel. As me and Dak and Nate stare you down. Don't you never underestimate old man strength.
You're right, man. I need to stop crushing Broadus so much for his old age.
Exactly. That you know about Broadus. But what did y'all think about the way Stefon Gilmore played? Because this man was Defensive Player of the Year 2017, I believe.
I thought he was a great pickup in the
He's
offseason.
only 31,
yeah,
by the way.
Yeah, and he's just crafty, right? The guy
Very
just
crafty.
understands. He knows, beginning of the season, somebody might have questioned, hey, is he doing what he's doing? Is he doing good enough, or are we overpaying? Well, guess what? This is the time when you shine, right? This is the time when you need him in December. And he got the experience. But these guys are a great player. He understands everything about formation, player. It's a great for Bland, great for Diggs to learn, even though as good as Diggs is.
He's a mentor. They're his mentors.
He's the mentor,
They're their mentors, yeah. He looked really, really good out there. Bland was there. He did just – I don't think they got 3 passes completed on his guy, but they weren't throwing at him. They kept trying to poke the bear. And Stefon Gilmore showed out, didn't he?
Yeah, he did a nice job, and he's so soft-spoken, man. And,
yeah.
And
he's quiet as a mouse.
I kind of misjudged him because you see as the season was progressing, anything with motion or something, they run something behind the formation, he was struggling. And I guess he was just bored. You know, I guess it wasn't a challenge to him. No, guys caught a couple of balls, but and I don't think so much that guy poking the bear as they came to him in the week saying, "Hey, man, how do you feel about? We saw what you did last week against DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
How would you like, if we
Brown, yeah."
And I think they gonna pick their spots. It ain't gonna be something every week. It's just they gonna pick their spots, and this shows DeRon Bland how far he really has to go.
Exactly. And speaking of how far they have to go, I want to ask y'all coming out of this break, when we come back, who y'all think have been the 3 biggest stars of the team so far this year and how far they need to go? That's next on Cowboys Crosstalk.
live.
Back to Dallas Cowboys Crosstalk.
Check this out.
Live from the Cowboys Club at the Star in Frisco.
At SWBC, customized solutions for individuals and businesses are just a click away. Visit SWBC.com to learn more and start your next adventure. I'm Chris Arnold, along with the 3-time Super Bowl champion, Nate Newton, our special guest, Cowboys legendary linebacker, Dat Nguyen. And from 105.3 The Fan, my partner in crime, Mr. Eric Chiafalo from the G-Bag Nation.
Yes.
We thank all the Cowboy fans for joining us here at Cowboys Club. And, Dad, I've been meaning to ask you this for, I don't know, look, you know, we all go way back. But I talked to Dat, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a year or something, just out of the blue. He texts me or we call or something. I've been meaning to ask you. I know you've been to the Ford Center where they practice and everything.
Yes.
When you walk in the building, your name is above the entrance. What did you think when you first saw that, and how do you feel to have your name when people first walk into the Ford Center, they see Dat Nguyen right up there?
Well, it's truly an honor, obviously, to be recognized. But I don't know. I'm just fortunate to had a chance. I don't know. My kids kind of think it's funny. When they walk in, they're like, "Hey, Dad, what you doing up there?" You know, because they were a little bit young and they didn't get to see me play when I was here. But what's funny is that it's truly an honor. I think you go through life, you go through your career, and when you get recognized for something, it's really it's a lot of gratitude.
Did you know they were going to do it, or did you just see it when you walked in?
I remember they called one time and said, "Hey, is there any way you have can we call who to get a picture of your high school?" Because I played high school in Texas, and I was really fortunate to play all 3 levels in the state of Texas. But so when they gave me that number, and I didn't think nothing of it, and then all of a sudden, that picture was brought in the Ford Center.
Look out. You mentioned all 3 levels. For those who don't know, he also played linebacker at Texas A&M.
Wrecking crew.
The question we have for you is, how much did you chip in to pay out Jimbo? He ain't touching that. All I can say is A&M is making strides, and I think y'all got a good one. That coach from Duke.
Yes, he does. Mike Elko's a good coach. He's been there, obviously, with A&M, with Jimbo in the past few years before he went to Duke. So I think we got the best we can.
Very nice, very nice. Well, let's talk more about these Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys, again, have won 10 games now. They're 10-3, just like the Eagles are 10-3, just like the 49ers are 10-3. But for those who have not been keeping up, the number 1 seed is
The San Francisco 49ers.
The number 2 seed is
the Philadelphia Eagles.
Mm-hmm. And they put it like this. For those who don't know, the way it plays out, the Cowboys could win out. But if the Eagles win out, the Eagles still win the NFC East because they got the tiebreaker, not because of head-to-head, because they split. The tiebreaker is Cowboys lost to the damn Arizona Cardinals. So that conference loss has got them, even though they have 3 losses apiece, have them kind of behind the Eagles. And by the way, if the Eagles were to win, when was the last year you played for the Cowboys?
2005.
The last time somebody won back-to-back in the NFC East was 2004. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
It's one of the most crazy stats in pro football that nobody can win this division back-to-back. The Eagles did it in 2003, 2004. Donovan McNabb was the quarterback. But since you've been retired, nobody has done this.
It's insane.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles could stumble. They got a game on Monday Night Football against Seattle. What do you think, Nate? You think the Seattle, if Geno comes back, they got a chance against the Eagles? Or do you think the Eagles are not going to lose 3 games in a row?
I just with that team there, they just lacking confidence. That's all the Seahawks are lacking. They got skill.
Yeah,
they got offensive line that can run the ball. They just lacking confidence. When you lack that confidence, man, you're just an average team.
What do you think, Dad?
Well, I think it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. I think Philadelphia is good enough that they not going to try to lose more and more games. I think they're going to find a way to start winning it back in that other column, the winning column. But it's going to be hard for Seattle to win, even though it's going to be a primetime game, it's going to be a big game, just like they showed up with the Cowboys, right? Whoever thought we thought we were going to be, 10-point, a favorite to win, and it went down to the wire. So Eric, what do you think about the Philadelphia Eagles? Are they for real? I'll give you a stat that people look at to say, is this team real? When I say real, can they go back to the Super Bowl, represent the NFC? They've been behind the last 6 games in a row at halftime.
Yeah, and that's so much different than what they were last year. Last year they were playing with leads. They'd get to the half, and they'd be up, and then they'd milk the lead and cruise to victory. This year it's been very different. Their offense, slow starting, much more slow-paced, and really their defense is a huge issue. I mean, this is not a championship-level defense. Worst on third down, one of the worst in the red zone. You can't do that. And when your team is built to have a great pass rush, and then all of a sudden your pass rush isn't there, where do you turn? You didn't invest in the secondary. You didn't invest in the linebacker. You were depending on that front four to make up for those inefficiencies on the second and third level, and now you're not getting that. And so they're going to have to, sort of like the Cowboys bye week, let's change this offense. Right. They're going to have to figure something out with their defense for sure, because you're not winning championships like that.
So check this out. The Eagles, like I said, they just got to put together the winning streak and win out, and they win the East. For the Dallas Cowboys, they have to win out, but they got to have some help from the Eagles losing the game. Here's the tricky part. It's not the Cowboys win out and win 4 in a row. If they win out, that means the Cowboys will have won 9 in a row. Gentlemen, have you ever won 9 in a row?
I think no, I haven't. But
I lost 9 in a row. No, just kidding.
You had some 5 and 11 years. I remember that.
Dak won what 10, 9,
11 in a row.
That's right. Yeah.
So he's experienced. The thing is, you're at a point now where none of that matters. All what it's about now is what's below this floor and what those guys are thinking in their heart. The reason that you heard me say when they lost to Philadelphia, I said they got to win 6 straight.
Yep.
Everybody started laughing.
They won 5 now.
This is why I believe this is if they can beat Buffalo, it tells me that not only can they beat a good team, and I don't think Philly is great right now. They're a good team. But you'll come back and you'll play a team that's only giving up 18.8 points a game. And so that'll tell me, can your offense travel on the road? And if you beat Buffalo, that tells me that you can move farther in the playoffs. See, to be able to win at home, just in case, what if we do have a home game? The next one going to be on the road.
Right.
So learn to win game by game. And quit worrying about the future. Win game by game, and you'll be okay.
See, you brought up something really nice, and I'm glad you brought this up. You're talking about the guys that are below.
Yeah.
For those who have never been out here to the Star at the Cowboys Club, we are located right up above the Cowboys locker room.
Yes.
And if you look out that window, you see the practice field, right?
Right.
And Eric and Dat, when you look out of that practice field, you see some goalposts, right?
Yes, sir.
Those goalposts probably weigh a couple of tons, don't they?
I don't know. Not
Well,
that
they're
much.
thousands of pounds, at least 1,000.
for sure.
They don't move around like these fans be moving the goalposts when they talk about the Cowboys. See how they say that? So, gentlemen, my question for you is, they beat the team with the best record in the league, the Philadelphia Eagles. Nobody had won 10 until the Eagles. Eagles did it first, and the 49ers did second. The 49ers are arguably the best team in the league because they've beaten the Cowboys and the Eagles, and when they're healthy, they just punish everybody. My question for y'all is, and Nate brought it up, Cowboys have won 15 home games in a row. But if things play out the way both teams are going and the Eagles keep winning, the Cowboys are going to have to hit the road. How important is it for them to start establishing themselves on the road? They've only got 2 more road games.
Bro, I think it's going to be established. Or
3 rather.
Yeah, from now on, I think it's saying, hey, we're going to be war mentality, right? We're going to win the games at home. It seems like that we've been winning games, and they just play so much better at home. So I think the mentality has to switch here the last 4 games of the season. Just go, hey, we're going to be road warriors. In order to win, to make it to the Super Bowl, we got to go through Philly and eventually go through San Fran. So it's not going to be here in Dallas. So we'll hope it is, but more likely, the way it looks, that you have that mentality. And I think what helps the Cowboys is that the defense, with the injury to Diggs, injury to Hake, the linebacker.
LBE.
Yeah. So
Late Van Ash.
Yeah, and then so you've been filling guys in.
Yeah.
And you still are dominate. And that's what's so neat about this team is that his next man up mentality, to me, from afar looking in. And as long as you have that, you talk about red zone defense, you're talking about they have all that. We're number 1 defense in the National Football League, and they play well together, and they gel together. That's really the most important. You won Super Bowls. Your defense were all top 5, I think, in all those times when you won Super Bowl. So that's give you a chance.
Gives you a chance. So Eric, can this team transfer this home field? I mean, they're a juggernaut at home. Like I mentioned earlier, first team in NFL history to win, to score over 30 points a game, their first 7 home games. Can they transfer that over to the road games? I'm not talking about just Buffalo. I'm talking about road games, period.
For sure. And I do think you're about to get a great test here. Buffalo and Miami back-to-back, 2 solid teams, and I think the weather will be a little bit more of a factor this week. And I think that's the one thing, that this team needs to do to level up, the last really level of this, other than beating San Francisco, which is a beast of itself for this team. But, yeah, doing it consistently on the road. And Dak in inclement weather, a little bit cold, a little bit wet. How do you play? Can you continue to play this way? I'm more confident than ever because of the process of this offense. And it's not just, hey, our guys are better than yours, and that's what it's been for the last few years, and we can just beat you that way. And then you go up against a better team, and your coaches aren't really helping you offensively. Dak, on 3rd and long, can you bail us out all game? We need you. Now he's got an offense that is in place for him and everyone to succeed, and I think that travels.
Travels. Yeah. We're going to find out. And by the way, coming up next, we're going to talk about what Las Vegas thinks, who they think are the 2 Super Bowl favorites, the 2 teams that should be going, where Dak is in the MVP conversation, and just how far you guys think they can go up against Buffalo. That's next on Cowboys Crosstalk.
Go Cowboys! Back to Dallas Cowboys Crosstalk.
Yeah, check this out.
Live from the Cowboys Club at the Star in Frisco.
Jack Black. Want to use what the pros use? Jack Black is the official men's skincare brand of your Dallas Cowboys. Visit getjackblack.com today. I'm Chris Arnold, along with the 3-time Super Bowl champion Nate Newton, our special guest, legendary Cowboys linebacker Dat Nguyen.
Dat Nguyen.
And my partner in crime from 105.3 The Fan in the G-Bag Nation, Eric Chiafalo.
Chiafalo.
Gentlemen, I teased in the break that Las Vegas has put out the odds. The Cowboys.
T's in Las Vegas. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the T's. Las Vegas is saying there are 2 teams that they think are headed to the Super Bowl at this point. The Cowboys' odds, by the way, are the same that they've been for weeks now. It's 10-1. But the 2 favorites, does anybody want to take a guess at who the 2 favorites to represent their conferences in the Super Bowl are, according to Las Vegas, as we speak?
San Francisco
Frisco,
seems
the
obvious.
obvious San Francisco's there.
Okay, San
Is that
Francisco,
right?
that's correct from the NFC. Who are they picking to represent the AFC after all of
The
these
Ravens.
injuries?
The
He said
Wow,
the Ravens?
the
You're
Ravens.
right. It is the Ravens.
That's good.
Baby
Baltimore and San Francisco.
They are solidly playing football, bro.
Yes,
Oh,
they
they
are.
are.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to say this right quick. Like, the last year you was talking about translating them 30 points a game to the road.
Yeah.
Never look at it that way. On the road, all you need is 1 point.
Yes, sir.
No matter how ugly, how bad, or how good it looks.
That's true.
All you need is 1 point because you coming home. You know, you just got to remember, Dorothy's coming home.
Right.
So just 1 point.
Surviving
Just
in
clicking
advance.
those
Remember that.
heels.
Yeah. Just forget
Are
that.
you familiar
win.
with the Wizard of Oz? Because that's what he's talking about.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that, CA.
We ain't talking Dorothy T's Vegas, okay?
That's my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're exactly right about that. And with that being said, did y'all know on the schedule on Christmas Day, the Ravens take on the 49ers?
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's sweet.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
That's
It's
sweet.
almost a preview of what the Super Bowl could be. Who would you like right now, as we speak, to win that game on Christmas?
I always go, I'm an NFC man through and through. I don't care. It could be the ugly Eagles or the sorry behind Giants. I'm going
NFC.
You just pull for your conference.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
you have the San Francisco.
You know, unless it's Mahomes, unless it's old crybaby Mahomes.
You know, he
I
has
love him.
apologized
I
now.
love
You
him.
know what's
bro.
crazy about Baltimore? It's kind of interesting because they have been a chip on the shoulder the whole year,
Yeah,
right? Nobody
buddy.
really gave them a chance, right?
Yeah.
You got the Bengals, you got the Kansas City, you got Buffalo, and
Miami
really,
jumped on the scene.
and that's right. And then now here comes Baltimore. I don't know. They're just finding ways to win games. I
They
guess.
10-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, they 10-3. They are looking good, and it's all Lamar Jackson because he's been healthy.
Yes, yeah, and that's huge. And I think that's one of the reasons why people doubt the Ravens, because over the years they have good regular seasons.
Right.
There's MVP Lamar, and then playoff time, he
hurt.
gets banged up, and it doesn't really work out for him. So I think that's part of it for sure. And then losing Mark Andrews is huge at tight end, but they haven't really missed a beat yet. So we'll see how they continue to evolve that way.
And quiet as it's kept, OBJ's been having a nice season.
Oh, he's came on the last 4 games. Last 4 games.
Who would have knew?
Oh, yeah, but it's still one for here.
Yeah.
No, I didn't
No,
want him
he
here.
wasn't
No,
on fit for the
yeah.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
Last year, that was like some entertainment when he came through.
Yeah, just
'Cause-
like your Shaq guy.
Yeah,
Entertaining.
Shaq Leonard. By the way, I'm going to say this again. I was giving your props a couple
Yeah.
of days ago. Nate was saying this 2 weeks ago when we were talking about Shaq Leonard. Is he going to go to Philadelphia? Going to go to the Cowboys? Nate was saying this right on this show. The man got cut and got paid because they couldn't play him. He wants to play. Philadelphia can let him play down here. Dan Quinn's just having in the rotation.
Yeah.
He ain't
Yeah.
coming here. Nate was adamant about it. He's like, why are we having this conversation? And Nate knew was correct. He was exactly correct on that one.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Lamar Jackson. Dak Prescott and Brock Purdy are the favorites right now in the MVP race. I think people are sleeping on Lamar Jackson. What do y'all think?
I mean, I think it's fair. I think it's
And
fair to say
again,
that
I
they're
think it's Dak's to lose. I love Dak. I want him to win it. But I'm thinking y'all sleeping on Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes on a run right now, I mean, we've seen him do it before. He can really take over. So if that's going to happen, and if he does it versus a team like the Niners on Christmas Day for the world to see, and he's the 1 seed in the
See, there
AFC,
you go.
That's
then,
a
I
good
mean,
point.
like,
Yeah.
there's a place where that can happen.
Who votes for this?
I think the media votes it.
A lot of
I
media
want to say the
members.
media votes it, and maybe some front office people. It's never the players.
Well,
Players only
he's
do pro
electrifying. The kid's unbelievable. Everybody knew how he can throw the ball and run the ball. He's just another, to defend him as a defender. I always think about quarterback. I was like, you defend him is such a, it's a hard task, right? He
Right.
can run the ball, and if he gets a first down, especially when the third and a few yards or whatever he gets, that's a new series. And those kills defense, and where Purdy, you kind of contain him a little bit, even though he's so accurate. The kid's inaccurate, and Dak is having a phenomenal year.
I think the 49ers
Who
get
vote
such
on this?
I think
I
it's
want to assist the
media.
I want to
right?
assist the media. But I want to say that for Brock Purdy, as much as I like his game, I really do think he's got players on his squad that are so significant, like Christian McCaffrey, and you mentioned
So
Debo.
he's trying to Alabama this
Yeah.
man.
And you throw in I can't stand Alabama. And by the way,
That's what I'm saying. They got talent.
yeah, they do. and the defense for San Francisco is so good. It reminds me about how, Nate, when you were playing with Troy was never getting the MVP conversation. They said, if you got Michael Irvin and Emmett back there, that defense, or Charles Haley, they was never giving Troy his credit till he retired. So I'm thinking Brock.
Who voting on this?
I think the media and some
those
the
guys
coaches,
in the press box.
Does the
I believe.
coaches vote too, though? I
They
think the coaches
might.
have,
I
they might have
can't
a
remember.
single
All
vote.
I know is the NFL honors are the night before the Super Bowl.
The only reason Dak won't get it is because the
Haters.
media has to vote.
Yeah.
This is the guy. If this had a percentage of players or a percentage of coaches, Dak could possibly, if they went out, stand opportunity. But they're gonna give it to Brock or either the kid for the Ravens. I mean, because I understand the bias.
Right.
I mean, this is a PR machine.
Yes.
Whether we're 1-15, whether we're not 1-15, but 1-16.
16 now.
Yeah.
Either 16-1.
Yeah.
That's what it would take for him to win it. He have to win out because it's
To show you how correct you are. I don't know if y'all heard what Aaron Rodgers said about how he loves the way Dak Prescott's playing.
ready.
He loves to watch him, and the reason, and he broke it down so well. He said, I don't know if people are hating on him because his high-profile position being the quarterback for the Cowboys. He said it's kind of like you're the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. It's a traditional position that all eyes are on. He said, but I just enjoy watching him because I can see him with his breakdown of progressions. I can see how he moves the tight end around. He's breaking down in nuances, and he's talking as a quarterback, the things that he sees that Dak sees on the defense and changing and making the audibles. He said, it is a pleasure watching him do these things. So I'm like, if people would watch that tape of Aaron Rodgers explaining why Dak Prescott is playing so well right now, maybe they would give him a shot at this. But like Nate is saying, the Cowboys as an organization are a lightning rod. They're the team you either love to love or you team you love to hate.
It took an act of Congress for Emmett to get it.
Yeah, really.
Can you imagine a team that's got 5 or 6 Super Bowls? I don't know how many All-Pros and Hall of Famers, and not one MVP. So some things to me are just
and
obvious.
it was the last one, by the way.
Yeah.
Some things to me are just obvious. So I don't get hyped. I don't get hyped, and I'm glad Dak don't get hyped.
Right. Dak says over and over again, I'm not going to treat it any different. He said when people say, "Oh, you've been playing so well," or you're getting this MVP attention.
Because he's seen what we done to him.
Yeah, he said, I'm not changing. I know. He says, I write my own script.
Yeah.
He says, I'm not going to change the way I do what I do just because more people are recognizing what I do. He said, all this means is that I'm playing well, which means we're playing well, and we've got bigger goals.
Yeah, I just believe that the league, I'll give you an example. We had a kid, didn't line up, his name Tolbert, I think, lined up offside last year.
Yeah, Jalen Tolbert, the wide receiver,
Nobody,
the Green Bay game.
Nobody said nothing. Mahomes, the greatest quarterback in the league,
Yes, he is.
went ballistic. And I couldn't believe the people that wanted to get behind him for a guy lining up all sides.
Even though that was the right call.
Even though it was the right call. So I'm saying to myself, this don't add up.
Yeah.
This don't add up. So what makes me have faith in that the media will say, hey,
Dak's
Dak,
the MVP?
Yeah, if he deserved it.
Yeah, no, I mean, hating on the Cowboys has been proven to be good for
It's a
business,
sport.
Yeah,
for individuals.
It's
you
a
know,
sport.
so and so many media members are so entrenched in their
Right.
whatever their narrative about Dak has been
Yes.
over their career, and they want to be right, and so they will just forget what they're seeing in order to maintain the take. And to some extent, I can agree with that, baby. I'm looking at Scooney. I was like, man, we don't need to throw Scooney the ball anymore.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, he's catching a touchdown. I'm like, damn, okay. I guess I got to change it.
My thing is this, I've always, and anybody that done shows with me, I don't like but one Dak. I didn't like Dak last year. I didn't like Dak the year before, and I didn't like Dak the year before. People say why? Because I didn't see the Mississippi Dak.
Mississippi
I
State,
didn't see, I didn't see the 2 first years of Dak. Dak, just my opinion, fat offensive lineman, Dak is a hell of an athlete that can throw the ball very well. Is he the talented arm that the Herbert or the kid Buffalo got or what they got in the Bengals or Mahomes? No. But he can throw the ball well enough to make his connections. And when he's playing football, I ain't talking about running for first down, but when he's moving around, he's like a work of art.
Yes.
And we've seen that for the last 6 weeks.
Yes.
Don't try to make him sit back in the pocket and just get nailed. Now, people are like, man, you hate Dak. No. No, I hate that Dak.
Right. This Dak is figuring some things out, and that's why Aaron Rodgers also
ready.
That's right. Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. By the way, Nate, you've got 3 Super Bowl rings.
Yes,
I'm going to bring this up because everybody's infatuated with the 49ers because the Eagles lost now, and the 49ers are the team to beat, and they can't do no wrong. You got 3 Super Bowl rings. What year was your last Super Bowl ring?
Oh, man, what, 2000?
No. Super Bowl ring.
Oh, I don't remember, bro.
It was like 95.
It's been so long, I don't even remember.
A lot of collisions.
Everybody I'm bringing this up because we're going to talk about the Cowboys and Buffalo in a minute, but I got to close this out because I mentioned the Super Bowl odds are the 49ers and the Ravens.
Right.
49, Cowboy fans and the Cowboy haters say, well, the Cowboys ain't won a Super Bowl in 30 years, right?
Right.
49ers ain't won a Super Bowl since the 90s either. They have not won the Super Bowl since Deion Sanders was playing for the 49ers.
Wow.
People forget that. They're so busy hating on the Cowboys, they forget the 49ers ain't done it. Yeah, the 49ers have been to the Super Bowl, but they ain't won it. Coming up next, Cowboys versus Buffalo. That's a team y'all beat in the Super Bowl.
Just think Philly had Rocky as their goal before they won.
Next on Cowboys Crosstalk.
Man, Rocky.
Back to Dallas Cowboys Crosstalk.
Yeah, check this out.
Live from the Cowboys Club at the Star in Frisco.
At SWBC, customized solutions for individuals and businesses are just a click away. Visit SWBC.com to learn more and start your new adventure. Chris Arnold, along with three-time Super Bowl champion Nate Newton,
Yes, sir.
our special
Yes,
guest,
sir.
legendary linebacker Dat Nguyen, and my partner in crime from 105.3 The Fan and the G-Bag Nation, Eric Chiafalo.
Yes, sir.
We got to talk about the Cowboys versus Buffalo. And this is not the first time the Cowboys ever played against Buffalo. Nate, you've had some great matchups against the Buffalo Bills. In fact, in a couple of Super Bowls. And that, before we get into your matchups with the Buffalo Bills, I was talking to Dat before the show started. Dat, you not only played against Buffalo, but I know you coached against Buffalo because I've covered since 1980 all these Cowboys games. And so I remember we were talking about we went up to Buffalo.
And the memorable game, the Monday Night Football game, when Romo threw a couple of those pick
Two
six.
pick sixes.
Yeah.
Dude.
Tony overcame himself to win that game in overtime.
And then
Nick Folk
Nick
hit a
Folk
couple
hit
of
they could have iced them with the 53-yard field goal. He was a rookie.
yeah, and you were coaching. You were
I was
assistant coaching.
I
Yeah,
was up there. I was enjoying the inside weather.
yeah.
Yeah, it was briskly that night. Yeah, it was cold.
You know what's so crazy? Because they're talking about the weather this Sunday in Buffalo. I've heard that it's only going to be in the 50s, and it's going to be in the daytime, so it's not going to be as bad. When Dat and I went up there on that game, it was a nice autumn Monday Night Football game, but in the afternoon, it was just beautiful. The trees are turning. The fans, the Bills Mafia, they were all, when the buses, this is not like Philadelphia where the fans be throwing eggs and stuff. The buses was going down the street and everybody's just waving.
It's like a parade, man.
It was like a parade.
Yeah,
I was like,
pretty amazing.
man, it's like a little small community, almost like Green Bay. So,
Except they jump through tables that are lit on fire.
yeah, well, you know,
Bills
times have
Mafia.
changed a little bit more. So Nate, back when you guys beat the Buffalo Bills in 2 Super Bowls in a row, what was your memories of playing the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl?
Just how many great players they had offensively and defensively,
buddy.
man. So
A lot of them in the Hall of Fame
you know,
now.
the thing that makes you laugh is you Bruce Smith was leading that party, and
man.
you look back and everybody believed in us so much, man. But we as players were like, fellas, let's don't slip. Let's don't give them an inch because these guys had the talent. That it's all about momentum and confidence. If you gave them the momentum and the confidence, these guys could run away with Reed and what was the nice running back they had?
Thurman
Thomas,
Thomas.
man, and Jim
Kelly.
Bruh.
Yeah.
They had a squad, man.
Andre Reed, that receiver you were
Yeah,
talking about.
they can bring it. So it was intense for me because their defensive line was nice.
That team had went to 4 consecutive Super Bowls, and people act like they weren't any good. They went to no team in history has gone to 4 straight Super Bowls, and their very first one against the Giants. If it wasn't for a missed field goal, to me they would have been the Atlanta Braves of the 90s because the Braves won a World Series, but nobody calls them losers. But yeah, the Buffalo Bills have a history, and the last couple of years they've been very talented, and people were favoring them to go to the Super Bowl. Right now, they've kind of they've been struggling a little bit, even though they won that game in Kansas City, Eric.
Yeah, and that was
This
a big
year.
win for them, for sure. And now they're starting to get it together offensively. They move on from Ken Dorsey. They bring in Joe Brady. He was the guy that was calling plays. Actually, he wasn't calling plays, but he was the titled offensive coordinator for the Joe Burrow LSU dominant title run. New age, young offensive mind. They're doing some different things, getting the backs involved in the passing game. That's nice. But that's still a very talented team. They've taken some lumps, but it's a desperate team now. I mean, every game's a playoff game for them. And so with Josh Allen, still one of the best quarterbacks in the league, the way he can run, it's a challenge, man.
Talent too. So my question, by the way, Buffalo's favored by 2.5 points, I think, in this game.
Wow.
Which basically means it's a toss-up because home field usually gets about 3. Nate, is it the Buffalo offense with Josh Allen that the Cowboys need to be more concerned about, or concerned about themselves and how they play?
The thing here is this kid is a top 5 quarterback.
Yes, he is.
And he has let himself, or the Bills have let him slip.
All the picks, the turnovers,
They have let this kid slip. So the games that they lost, go back and look. he's thrown 2 picks in the first quarter. It doesn't even get to the second quarter. He'll throw 2 picks, and now he'll find the rest of the game. He's digging himself out while the defense is playing lights out. If this kid comes out and be a little bit conservative and let his team help him win, we're going to be in for a dogfight. But if you get him chirping and talking, and he want to do his little backhand flips and run about 15 yards and then force the ball in there, we can get him.
Dak, Von Miller plays for the Buffalo Bills.
Yes.
He's healthy.
He's a closer.
He's a closer. And can you talk about the Buffalo Bills defense, but more importantly, what do you think the Bills are going to bring for a home game for them up there? Because you know that environment.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting just because how they're going to defend our offense. We have so many weapons, and it's how we're going to attack them too. We're going to come out with 11 personnel. We're going to come out with 21 whatever we decide to do. They got so many talent players. You got Oliver. You got Von Miller. You got the back end is very good too.
Their corners are nice.
So I think it's going to be a good matchup. I think it's going to be a physical matchup, and for us, for the Cowboys, they should not change what we've been doing. That got you to where you're at. You've won 5 consecutive games. You've been doing what you're doing, and offensively, just keep doing what you're doing. But defensively, be ready for more blitzes. And I think I wouldn't doubt they're going to bring more pressure. And they're going to try to get the ball out of Dak's hand as soon as they can, so the DB can make some plays.
My question for you, Nate, is do you think that the Bills are more dangerous than Philadelphia, even though I think both teams are just as talented?
They're playing on with more confidence.
Yeah.
They got momentum.
They beat Kansas City
They
now.
beat Kansas City with those blitzes, those timely blitzes you're talking about. I was talking to Jesse Holly, and he noticed they play with high leverage. That's because they like to rush the pass. You got Leonard Floyd with 9 sacks. You got Ed Oliver with 6.5. They got 42 altogether. Now, they're giving up a little bit on the run, average-wise, 4.7, but they still holding people to 114. That's the new NFL. Hold guys around 114. You get a run here, big run here, big run there, but as long as you don't give up nothing in the red zone, 18.8 points a game, they ain't giving up nothing. And so now they got, 12 interceptions, 14 interceptions?
Right.
So they take advantage. If this team, and I don't like to talk, this late in the season you are who you are, but this team here, if their quarterback can get past himself, they're going to be hard to beat, man.
No doubt.
So I want some predictions. Dat Nguyen, give me a final score, and what kind of struggle do you think this is going to be?
I think it's going to be a battle, defensive battle throughout. I think we have obviously offensive, both explosive offense. There's going to be some explosive plays, but more than likely it's going to be a dogfight. I think Cowboys going to pull it out, 31-28 with Aubrey's field goal to win it.
Look out. I was about to bring him up. Aubrey may be the new secret weapon, man. This guy has made 30 consecutive field goals. He has not missed a field goal to start his career. Nate, what do you think?
I just want to get out of it with a victory.
Don't matter. 1 point.
Healthy and with a victory, because Hankins is a question mark. Until I see what we do, I want to get out of it with a victory. Road wins are victories. Don't look at it nothing more than that.
No score. You don't. Just 1 point.
1 point, man.
victory.
You can do whatever you want.
Eric Chiafalo.
I do feel like the Cowboys are going to have a great chance here, but with no Hankins, a desperate team, Josh Allen running the way he is, the running quarterback's big-time challenge. This will be the biggest running quarterback challenge they've had all year. They're doing it without Hankins on the road. Maybe it's a little bit rainy. It's cold. What does that do to Dak? I'm just betting on the Buffalo Bills find a way to win 28-26.
Buffalo Bills.
I do.
I'm telling you, man, if that kid, I'm with you. If that kid go to rocking, you better look out, man.
Yeah, he's got an arm, and he does make big plays over and over again. I'm actually thinking like Dat Nguyen. I'm thinking that the Dallas Cowboys are going to do what they need to do offensively, and the X factor will be butter. Aubrey, that's what Dak Prescott calls him, butter, because the man is so smooth. He, by the way, became the first player in NFL history last week when he kicked 2 field goals of over 59 yards, a 59-yarder and a 60-yarder in the same damn game. He made 2 more right after that. And again, it's like, okay, we just counting. He's almost Dan Bailey territory. We talk about Dan Bailey because Dan Bailey's so good. I think we might have found another Dan Bailey. So I'm looking for him to do well. I'm looking for Tony Pollard and Rico Gathers to do not Rico Gathers because he was a tight end back then. Rico Dottle to do some damage. And again, I hope the Cowboys win. We'll see if the Buffalo Bills do. Dat Nguyen, thanks so much for joining us. Nate doing this, always a pleasure. Eric Chiafalo, we got to have you back on again. Next week, come back again right here at the Cowboys Club for Cowboys Crosstalk. I'm Chris Arnold. Y'all have fun and go Cowboys. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we
This has
go.
been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!